Okay. So, um, AI, it seems like it's everywhere these days, right? And you sent over a whole bunch of articles about it, especially like in real estate.
It really is everywhere, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but what does it actually mean for like the average person? Like what's AI going to do for me when I'm looking to buy or sell a house?
That's the big question, isn't it? And that's what we're going to like dig into
Okay.
today. We're going to sift through all this stuff and try to figure out, what are the key takeaways? What's the stuff that you actually need to know?
Perfect.
So
Yeah.
we're going to cover everything from like finding that dream home to um, even like managing a whole building,
Uh-huh.
using AI.
Oh, wow. Okay, so like the whole
Yeah. The
spectrum.
whole gamut.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So one of the things I saw in one of these articles was AI changing how properties are valued.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Hmm.
traditionally valuing a property was kind of like it was based on location and
Yeah.
like square footage and, what have houses sold for in the area recently.
Right,
Right.
right.
But AI is kind of like adding this whole other level of analysis.
Like what kind of stuff?
So imagine you have this algorithm that can analyze thousands of data points.
Mm.
And that's like everything from property tax records and building permits to even hyperlocal crime statistics and school ratings.
Wow. Okay, so it's really going deep.
It's going really deep, yeah. It's
Yeah.
looking at everything.
Yeah.
And AI can process all that like way faster than a human ever could.
Right.
And that's what's called predictive analytics. And it's giving like investors this real edge.
Okay, so it's not just like what the property is worth right now, but it's kind of like forecasting out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's about forecasting future trends.
Hmm.
So, AI can identify areas that are likely to appreciate in value.
Oh, wow.
It can spot potential risks
Oh.
and even predict like the best time to buy or sell.
Okay, that sounds really powerful.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So how does that work though?
Well, it's all about algorithms and machine learning.
Mm.
So basically, these algorithms are trained on these huge data sets
Yeah.
of real estate information,
Yeah.
and they kind of learn to identify patterns and correlations.
Okay.
And then they use that knowledge to like make predictions.
So does that mean we're saying goodbye to like real estate agents altogether?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
No, not quite.
Okay.
Human expertise is still really important,
Yeah.
especially when it comes to things like negotiation and, really understanding like the nuances of a specific market.
Mhm.
But AI can definitely make the process faster
Mhm.
and like provide these really valuable insights.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a game changer for investors, but what about like the average person just trying to like buy or sell their home?
Yeah.
How does AI help them?
One area where it's making a really big impact is in the search process.
Okay.
Remember like scrolling through, tons of listings, trying to find something that like fit your criteria.
Oh yeah, I've spent hours doing that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So AI is changing that.
Okay.
Think of it like a personalized real estate matchmaker.
Okay, that's interesting. Tell me more about that.
So AI can analyze, your preferences, your budget,
Mhm.
even your lifestyle
Oh.
to suggest properties that are like a perfect match.
Oh, wow.
It takes into account stuff like your commute time, how close you are to schools, and even like how walkable the neighborhood is.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
So no more wasting time on properties that aren't even close to what you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And AI is taking this like personalization a step further with these virtual tours. Have you seen those?
I've heard about them, but I haven't actually like tried one.
Oh, you should.
Okay.
So imagine you can like walk through a property just like from your couch.
Hmm.
You can explore each room, you can check out the views, and even get a feel for the layout.
That sounds way better than looking at like tiny photos online.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. And the technology is getting so realistic.
Oh, wow.
Some platforms are even using AI to create virtual staging so you can like see what a place would look like with different furniture and decorations.
So you can really picture yourself living there without even setting foot in the place.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
it is. And it's not just about convenience either. Virtual tours can really help you like narrow down your choices
Right.
and save you time and money by avoiding, unnecessary showings.
Okay, so I'm starting to see how AI can really streamline this whole home buying process.
Yeah.
But what about all the paperwork and all the back and forth communication?
Yeah.
That can be such a hassle.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But AI is changing that too. We're seeing a lot of these AI-powered chatbots popping up
Okay.
that can handle things like scheduling appointments, answering frequently asked questions, and even like pre-qualifying potential buyers.
Oh, wow. So it's kind of like having an assistant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like a 24/7 assistant to like help you through the whole thing.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And for real estate agents, it frees up their time so they can focus on the things that really need a human touch,
Right.
like negotiating and building relationships with their clients.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So AI is kind of taking over a lot of the tedious stuff, but
Right.
is that a bad thing?
I don't think so. I mean, it's definitely a shift, but I think it's a good one ultimately. It's making the process more efficient and more transparent
Okay.
for like everyone involved.
So it's not replacing people, it's just making their jobs a little bit easier.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's opening up all kinds of new possibilities for innovation in areas like property management. Have you heard about the smart building revolution?
Yeah, I've heard about it vaguely,
Yeah.
but what does that actually mean? Like, what is a smart building?
Well, imagine a building that can like monitor its own systems and, predict problems before they happen and even optimize energy use like as it's happening.
So it's like a building with a brain.
Yeah, kind of like that.
Okay.
They use AI and all these like Internet of Things devices
Right.
to collect and analyze data about everything from like temperature and humidity to, how many people are in the building and how much energy is being used. Wow, okay. I can kind of start to picture that. But how does that actually benefit the people who are like living or working in these buildings?
Well, for one thing, you can just create a more comfortable and efficient environment.
Okay.
Imagine a building that automatically adjusts the temperature and the lights,
Hmm.
based on how many people are there.
That would be awesome.
Right. It's
Yeah.
no more like freezing in the winter or sweating in the summer
Right?
because the thermostat is messed up.
Exactly.
And smart buildings can also improve safety and security.
Okay.
For example, they can use AI to like monitor security cameras and, detect potential threats.
So it's not just about comfort and convenience, it's
Yeah.
also about safety.
It's about safety too, yeah, and it goes even beyond that.
You okay?
Smart buildings can also play a big role in sustainability by like reducing energy consumption and waste.
Okay, so that's something I'm really interested in.
Yeah.
Like, how is AI making real estate more eco-friendly?
Well, one way is through what's called predictive maintenance. So by analyzing all this data from sensors and building systems, AI can identify potential problems
Right.
before they like become huge issues.
So it's like the building can tell you when something's about to break.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this can lead to like big savings in terms of energy and resources.
Okay.
For example, if the AI system detects a leak in a water pipe,
Right.
it can alert the maintenance people, before it causes a ton of damage and wastes a ton of water.
Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah,
It sounds like AI is really like changing the whole way we think about building design and management.
I think so. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah. But before we get too carried away, I kind of want to talk about a more sensitive topic, which is like security and risk.
Yeah,
Real estate deals involve a lot of money
absolutely.
and, there are always risks involved.
That's true.
Yeah. So how is AI helping to kind of mitigate those risks?
Well, that's where AI can play a huge role in risk assessment and fraud detection.
Okay. I'm interested. Tell me more about that.
So one way AI can help is by analyzing data to find these suspicious patterns.
Okay.
It can flag transactions that have like really high prices or unfamiliar parties or, just locations that seem unusual.
So it's kind of like having a digital detective.
Kind of like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like looking out for these red flags that you might miss.
That's cool.
Yeah. AI can also like assess the creditworthiness of potential buyers and predict, how likely it is that they'll default on a loan,
Oh, okay.
which can help lenders make, better decisions.
So AI is making the process like more efficient and transparent, but also more secure.
Yeah, exactly.
That's really amazing.
It is. And it's just the beginning.
Yeah.
As AI technology keeps evolving,
Right.
we can expect to see even more like innovative applications in the coming years.
Wow, this has been super insightful. We've covered a lot of ground, so I think maybe this is a good place to kind of pause and we'll pick it back up in part two.
That sounds good. Yeah, we have a lot more to explore, like AI's role in marketing and some of the bigger implications for the future of real estate.
Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be back soon with more insights on how AI is reshaping the world of real estate. Welcome back. So last time we were talking about smart buildings, and you mentioned how they can make real estate more sustainable.
Yeah,
So I'd love to dig a little deeper into that.
absolutely. So, sustainability is a really big deal these days, and AI is becoming this powerful tool for making buildings more eco-friendly.
So it's more than just, those smart thermostats and energy efficient appliances.
Yeah, it goes way beyond that. AI can analyze all this data
Yeah.
about the building's design and how it operates.
Okay.
Like think about things like the materials they use to build it, how much sun it gets, the climate, and even like how people move around inside the building.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
AI can use all that information to make the building more sustainable.
Okay, so how does it actually do that?
Well, imagine an AI system that could optimize a building's energy use throughout the day.
Okay.
It can learn when certain areas are empty
Right.
and then automatically adjust the lighting and temperature.
So it's like having an energy manager working 24/7.
Exactly.
Yeah.
AI can also like analyze data from the building systems to find areas where energy is being wasted.
Oh, okay.
Like
Well,
maybe there's a problem with the AC
right.
or the roof isn't insulated very well.
Mm.
AI can like pinpoint these things so they can be fixed quickly.
So it's not just saving energy, it's also about, reducing waste and making those systems last longer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
And it's not just for buildings that already exist. AI can even be used when they're designing a new building.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How's that work?
So they use these AI algorithms to analyze different building materials and techniques
Okay.
to figure out which ones are the most sustainable.
Oh, wow.
They can even simulate how the building will perform over its whole life cycle, considering things like energy use, water consumption, and waste.
So they can kind of predict the building's impact on the environment. Yeah, exactly like a crystal ball almost.
That's really cool.
It is. It lets the architects and developers make smarter choices,
Mm-hmm.
to reduce the building's environmental footprint from the very beginning.
So it's like baking sustainability into the design of the building.
Exactly. And as AI gets even better,
Right.
we're going to see even more sophisticated tools for designing and managing sustainable buildings.
It's amazing to think about all the possibilities.
It really is.
But let's switch gears a bit and talk about marketing. That's
Yeah.
a huge part of real estate.
Of course. Marketing is essential, whether you're selling a property, trying to get tenants, or even just building your brand as an agent or developer.
Right.
And AI is making a big splash here, too.
So I've heard about these AI marketing tools,
Ah.
but I'd love to hear more about how they actually work. Can you give me some examples?
Sure. So one of the coolest things is personalization. We're moving away from these like generic mass marketing campaigns and toward these really targeted messages
Okay.
that are tailored to each person.
So it's kind of like when Netflix recommends shows.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Except here, AI is looking at data about potential buyers or renters,
Okay.
like their preferences, what they do online, their demographics, and even their past interactions with listings.
Okay, that's interesting.
So how does that make marketing more effective?
Yeah.
Well, imagine you're selling a luxury condo downtown.
Okay.
Instead of sending the same ad to everybody in the city, you can use AI to find people who are already looking for something similar,
Okay.
people who are interested in downtown living and who can actually afford it.
So you're not wasting money on people who aren't interested.
Exactly. You're reaching the right people at the right time with the right message.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
And AI can even like personalize the content of the message itself.
Really?
Yeah. You can highlight the features that would appeal to that person,
Right.
use language that resonates with them,
Oh, wow.
and even recommend properties that are a perfect match.
It's like having a personal marketing assistant.
It's getting pretty close to that.
That's amazing.
Yeah. And AI is not just changing how we target and personalize these messages.
Yeah.
It's also changing how we create and send them.
Oh, really? How so?
For one thing, AI can analyze tons of images and text.
Okay.
Just figure out like what visuals and language work best for real estate marketing.
Okay.
It can tell you which keywords will get people's attention, what kind of pictures they'll click on,
Wow.
and even what fonts and colors are most appealing.
So it's like a marketing consultant built right into your software.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And AI can also automate a lot of the work,
Oh, wow.
like writing property descriptions,
Yeah.
creating social media posts,
Okay.
even designing brochures and flyers.
So AI is making marketing more targeted and personal, but also more efficient.
Exactly. It
Yeah.
frees up real estate professionals to focus on what they do best,
Yeah. Right.
building relationships and giving expert advice.
It sounds like AI is really changing the real estate industry from top to bottom.
It really is.
Yeah.
It's affecting everything from how properties are valued and marketed
Yeah.
to how they're designed, managed, and even financed.
This has been a really fascinating discussion,
It has.
but we've covered a lot of ground.
Yeah, for sure.
Should we take a break and finish up in part 3?
I think that's a good idea. We still need to talk about some of the potential challenges and ethical stuff around AI and real estate.
So welcome back to our deep dive into AI and real estate. It's been really interesting to see how AI is changing like everything from buying and selling homes to building these smarter, greener buildings.
Yeah, we've covered a lot. And, like with any new technology, there are always some things to think about, especially as AI becomes more and more a part of real estate.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, we've talked about all the potential benefits, but are there any like downsides or risks that we should be aware of?
Well, one thing that comes up a lot with AI is data privacy. You know, these AI systems need a ton of data to work properly.
Right.
And in real estate, that data can be pretty personal.
Yeah, I see what you mean. We're talking about people's finances, their search history, their preferences, even like where they go.
Right, exactly.
That's all pretty sensitive stuff.
It is, so we have to make sure the data is protected and used responsibly.
So it's not just about the technology itself, it's also about how it's used.
Yeah, it's about building trust. People need to know that their data is safe and that it's being used in a way that benefits them.
That makes sense. If people don't trust AI, they're not going to use it, and
Exactly.
then we miss out on all the good stuff.
Right. Another challenge is that AI algorithms can sometimes be biased.
Oh, how so?
Well, they're trained on these massive data sets, and if those data sets reflect like existing biases in the real estate market, then the AI can just continue those biases.
Okay. I can see how that could be a problem.
Yeah, like if the data shows that certain groups have been discriminated against,
Right.
the AI might keep doing that without even realizing it.
So we have to be really careful about the data that's used to train these algorithms.
Exactly. We need to make sure it's diverse and representative, and we need to constantly check for bias.
It sounds like using AI in real estate comes with a lot of responsibility.
It does. It's not something to be taken lightly. But it's important to remember that AI is just a tool.
Right.
Like any tool, it can be used for good or for bad.
So it's up to us to make sure it's used for good.
Exactly. We need to talk about the potential impact of AI, both the good and the bad,
Hmm.
and work together to make sure it's used to create a better real estate industry for everyone.
That's a great point. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from all of this?
I think the biggest thing is that AI is a game changer for real estate. It's already changing how we do things, and it has the potential to create a lot of value.
Right.
But we have to be thoughtful about it. We have to be responsible, and we have to use it for good.
That's a great message to end on. Thanks so much for joining us today. It's been a really insightful conversation.
It's been my pleasure. And to all our listeners out there, stay curious, stay informed, and keep learning about AI and how it's changing the world.
That's a great advice. We've only scratched the surface today, but hopefully this deep dive has given you a better understanding of how AI is shaping the future of real estate. Thanks for listening, everybody.